So friends, we have covered in last lecture. We have started architecture of different scan cell, and we have gone through two types of scan cell. One is MUX-D scan cell, and another one it's a variant of MUX-D scan cell in which uh, we have a level sensitivity. Right? So now second scan cell is a clock scan cell. Now in a clocked scan cell, it's have a two clock. One is the data clock and another is the shift clock. And both the clock must be a non-overlapping clock. Both the clock must be a non-overlapping clock. Non-overlapping means independent and non-overlapping. So when one of the clock is high at that time, another must be in a logic 0, right? Disable. So data clock, it is used to transfer the data to latch into the output, and the shift clock it's used to load the shift input data into the output. So data clock is used in a normal and the capture mode. So normal means we are not testing, we are not for the testing it operate in a normal, and capturing when we want to load the present value of any internal node to the output. So it is a capture mode. So in a normal and capture mode, data clock is used, and in a shifting mode, once the internal node logic is loaded into a different scan cell, clocked scan cell, then the shifting clock is applied to shift this. Now we already have this, all the scan cell are connected in a chain, it form a shift register. So once you capture the data, then by applying the shift clock, it is shifted the data up to the shift output. Right, shift output is only a one pin to observe the all internal node logic. So using only one pin, we can observe the that all internal node logic by shifting the data. So first we have to capture the internal node logic data through this data clock, and then it is shifted as we already prepared in a scan cell. All the clock scan cell are connected in a chain that form a shift register. So it is shifted data to out. So this is structure of a clocked scan cell and how it works. Let's see its waveform, right, to understand it more clear. So both the clock is triggerable, right? So once we apply the data clock, at that time the shift clock it must be disabled, because this is the condition, assumptions, let's can say. Then this clocks cancel work in a normal, otherwise it not work as a clock scan cell, right? So assumption in when we are using a clocked scan cell is both the clock must be a non-overlapping clock. So here you can see first, let's say applied the data clock. So this is the data. There are two input, data input and the shift input. Data input is for the normal data and shift input for the testing. If you want to load the internal node with any desired logic, then it can be loaded using the shifting shift data in. So when that data clock is high, at that time it transfer the data, whatever the data at that time, it, that in data it's have D1, so it is transfer the D1 into the output. So now output have the D1, right? Then there is no clock, so it is output is holding the D1 value, and you can see here the shift clock is high. So now in a output it is the shift input data instead of the DI. So at that time shift input data is T3. So T3 is loaded in the output and it is holding that T3 until the next clock. So it is very simple. The data clock, whenever the data clock is positive edge of data clock, at that time DI is loaded into the queue, and whenever the positive edge of the shift clock, at that time whatever in the SI, that is loaded into the queue. So it is simply a two input D flip-flops. It is simply a two input D flip-flop which have the two clock. So now third cancel is level sensitive, that this level sensitive latch based cancel, LSSD cancel. So in LSSD cancel, it's have a two latch. One latch is two port latch. So here this is the two port latch, and another is a single port latch. This is a single port latch. So this is a two port latch. So in a two port latch, uh, have a separate clock for both the port and the separate data input for both the port, right? So this is port 1. This is data for port 1, data, and this is the clock for the port 1, clock. Similarly, this is the data for the port 2, data, and A is the clock for the port 2, clock. So A work as a port 2 clock, and B is the clock for the single latch port, single port latch, right? Second that latch. This is also called a master latch. So it is type of structure of slave and master latch. So it avoid the any rest around condition, right? So that is the main advantage of LSDD cancel, which can avoid the that rest around conditions, and in providing the level sensitive output, which means the latch output. So B is the clock of that single port, clock of its master, that master latch clock. Now let's see how it work. So, and here also C, B, A are the latch for the first stage, and B is the latch clock for the second stage, right? So there are three clock, and here also all the three clock must be a non-overlapping, right? So at a time only one clock should be high, must be a non-overlapping. So LSDD cancel is used for the level sensitive latch based design. This cancel contains the two latches, a master two port D latch and L1, and the slave D L2. C, A and B are the used as a clock to select the data D, I, and the L1. Right. So here this is the output L1, that is given to this another latch, second stage latch. So to when we make the B is equal to high, so B is the clock for the second stage latch. So it is transferred the L1 to the L2. And when C is equal to high, it transferred the D to the L1. And when the clock A is equal to high, it transferred the I to the L1. Right? Either L1 or L2 can be used to drive the combinational logic of the design. So here we have a facility, we can either use the L1, which is a latch output, and also we can use the L2, which will get as a flip-flop output, right? Because it is have two latch are connected in a cascade, so it is form a flip-flops. So it can avoid the rest around condition as in the master slave JK flip-flop. So here you can see when the clock C is equal to high, it transfer the data uh, D into the L1. So at that time, whatever the data D, it is load into the L1. Okay? And when the clock A is equal to high, it transfer the here it is not a, that is triggerable, it is a level triggerable. So when it is A is equal to high, that is transfer whatever in this I, it is into the output. And when the B is equal to high, that L1 is transferred into the output. So L1 is transferred into the output L2 when the B is equal to high. So in L2 will get the output when first, if you want to load in L2 as a normal mode, so we have to give first C and then the B. So we'll get the normal that is triggerable output. And when we make the C and A, we'll get the output in a L1, which is a level triggerable, right? Data into the L1, which is level triggerable. Now when we want to use as an testing data input, at that time first we have to make the B and then A that will load the data into the L1. This is a level sensitive shifting data. And it will, yes, B, A and then B, which is gives the shifting mode is an edge triggerable into the L2. So here it is a level sensitive LSDD scan cell. So there are three types of scan cell in a scan design DFT technique. One is the MUX-D scan cell, another is a clocked scan cell, and third is the LSDD scan cell. Now if you see the advantage and disadvantage of is a comparison of three scan cell. So you can see in a MUX-D scan cell, it is a advantage of MUX-D scan cell are compatible to the modern design, means that, and greatest advantage of MUX-D scan cell is it is a compressive support provided by the existing automatic tool, means the EDA tool is available which can identify the storage element from the design, from the RTL code itself, and then it modified the RTL code, tool itself modified the RTL code and convert the our design into a scannable design, means tool itself add the DFT logic in the design, not any human engineering required that modify our design to add the DFT logic. So tool itself will convert a design into a scannable design. So that is the greatest advantage of MUX-D scan cell. If you see the disadvantage of MUX-D scan cell, then it add a delay of a multiplexer. So if you can see in a simple flip-flop, and when we convert it into the scannable flip-flops, we are adding a, this is suppose simple flip-flop, data and the clock and the output. So this is our simple flip-flop, and when we add a DFT logic in the design, it convert this simple flip-flop into a scannable flip-flop. So scannable flip-flop is it add a 1 2 cross 1 mux, right? And one of the input of 2 cross 1 mux is the whatever this data normal input, and another input of this 2 cross 1 mux is the scan input. So it separate the when we want to use as a testing or when we want to use as a normal mode. So this same flip-flops can functioning the used for the normal mode as well as in a testing mode, right? Not need to add any extra hardware for the testing purpose. So in scan design, that is another advantage in scan design. It utilize the internal storage element as a DFT logic. it not adding the extra DAP logic, just 2 cross 1 mux is added in each storage element. So here it is an shift enable input. So either we want to use then this whatever this simplified block. So this hardware is added the extra hardware. This is the extra added due to the DFT logic. Right? So this add the multiplexer. So once we add the multiplexer, it add the delay. It add the delay. So whatever the delay between the DI to the input to the flip-flops, that add the delay that is not there in a normal design. So if we add this multiplexer in critical path, then definitely it changes the our that criteria, whatever the timing criteria there. So it may violate the timing criteria, violate the propagation delay. So we have to see in a critical path by adding this 2 cross 1 marks. Again, we have to see the timing is matching or not. Okay. So that is disadvantage of mux-D scan cell. Now, if you can see in the another two scan cell, clocked scan cell and LSDD scan cell, there is no such mux is added. So there is no any such added. But both the clocked scan cell and LSDD scan cell cannot automatically EDA tool is not available that can automatically convert the given storage element into a clocked scan cell and LSDD scan cell. So definitely it adds the more extra hardware. No performance degradations as see here. This is delay is added, that means the degrade the performance. Required additional shift clock, that is the disadvantage of clock disk cancel. In clock disk cancel we require one extra more clock, and also by adding the clock also we need to be route that clock inside the design, because the in each storage element we have to supply the clock. So again next issue is arise by adding the one extra clock, it's a routing. In LSDD scan cell, insert the scan into a latch with design guarantee to arrest the output. So that is the advantage of LSDD, but increase the routing complexity. In a LSDD there are 3 clocks, right? So as you can imagine, to route the single clock it is so much difficult in a complex designing. So how it good to route the 3 different clock, and also we have to maintain the non-overlapping of all the 3 clocks. So it is very difficult to routing. So it increase the routing complexity. So this is the comparison of all the scan cells. So in this presentation we have studied the ad hoc based approach of DFT techniques, which are the observation point insertion and control point insertion, and how to improve the controllability and observability for a testing purpose. Then we have learned 3 types of the scan cell, mux-D scan cell and how it works, clock scan cell and how these clock scan cell work, and then last is the LSDD scan cell and how the LSDD scan cell work. And at the end we have compared all 3 scan cell, which is merit and demerit. So that's about from this topic. If you have any questions, you can ask. Then let me keep up to this.